We are going to talk about a puppy schedule. So a lot of times we get asked, what should our schedule look like? How many times should they go potty? How many times should they nap? When should they eat? All of that stuff. So we are going to go over that today. Get your dog in a routine. If you get your dog into a routine, you are more likely to have a very successful, well-behaved, trained, potty trained, crate trained puppy. You really can't leave a puppy home alone for very long when they're 8, 9, 10 weeks old. And so that's why this schedule is super, super important. So I added a couple of links into the description of the video. You can download those links, which is going to help you guys keep track of when your puppy goes and if they go pee or poo and how often. And the reason that is important is because you might think, well, that's silly, you're going to remember. But I'll tell you that if there's multiple people in the house and you don't know who went, who didn't take the puppy out, you're going to lose track, for one. For two, it's super important for you to know what they did, because if they didn't poop after they ate, they're going to have to go potty, and maybe you have to leave, but the wife is there, or the kids, vice versa. You guys need to know what to be looking out for and what to make sure they do. With regards to the schedule example, I just printed up one sheet, which is just like basically your morning routine. I'm talking about an 8 to a 10-week-old puppy right now. So you're gonna be repeating this 3 to 4 times a day. So after your 3 hours, then it is mid-morning, then it's afternoon, then it's late afternoon and evening. So there's several times that you're gonna be repeating this over and over again. Yes, you're gonna have to take them potty like 18 bazillion times a day in the very beginning. And that is because right now they don't know where they should be going potty. They don't know that outside is what they need to do. But the more consistent you are in taking them out every time that they go wake up, every time they eat, every time they drink, every time they're done playing, the more success you're going to have with potty training. 6 a.m. may be too late, maybe too early for you guys, but this is going to give you like the lot of time. So if we wake up at 6 a.m. or our puppy wakes up at 6 a.m., they're going to go outside to go potty. First thing, right away, outside to go potty. That is only for 5 to 10 minutes. And it's super important at that age to put them on a leash, because even if you have a backyard, if you don't put them, be nice, River. If you don't put them on a leash, what is going to happen is they're going to get distracted. So this age puppy, even River, who's almost 11 weeks old, will still get distracted because he sees a leaf or a bird flying up in the air or another dog running by, because we have so many dogs. And so they forget that they have to go potty. And then if you think they're done or they don't have to go, you bring them back in and they're going to have an accident in your house right away, because now there's no distraction and they're like, oh wait, I needed to go potty. So 5 to 10 minutes. If they don't do the deed, then guess what? Back in, but not free. They don't get free run because they haven't gone potty. So they need to go into their crate, give them 5 minutes, take them back out. This is super important process so that you avoid the accident. They're less likely to potty in their crate than they will if they're in the big room like this. And then they're gonna come in. So this is now 6:15. So again, no more 5-10 minutes. If they've had to go in their crate for 5 minutes, now you're at 6:15. Now they have playtime. So this is literally just playtime, running, exercise. It's not very long. It's only 15 minutes because they're going to get hungry. They just woke up. They're going to be full of energy, but they're also going to be hungry. So it's just letting them run around for a minute. That's because you need to drink your coffee or you need to get the kids ready for school. And then it is breakfast time. So around 6:30. Again, this is just an example. It doesn't have to be exact, but this is what works for us. So at 6:30, it's breakfast time. Now, if we're raising a puppy, our breakfast time is never a free-for-all. It is training. And you want to take the opportunity to work on training every chance you get. So when you're feeding is a great time to work on training, because they're hungry. They had a little exercise. They already went potty. And they haven't really seen you all night because they were sleeping. So they're going to be more likely to want to please you. Training at 8 to 10-week-old puppy is really 5 to 10 minutes. 15 at the max, and that's if they are really staying focused and engaged with you. After that, You literally are gonna take them back outside within 15 minutes after they eat. Sometimes it's a little sooner, sometimes it's a little later, but I wouldn't go much longer than 10, 15 minutes to get them back outside. Same routine, out to go potty. If they don't go, they go in their crate. If you put them in a pen, they're more likely to have an accident, or if you don't want to put them in a crate or you don't use a crate, then you need to tether them to you so that you can keep an eye on them. And if you aren't familiar with what tethering is, it's literally just putting the collar and the leash on your puppy and you're hooking it to your belt loop or wrapping it around you, or if you're in the kitchen, tying it to the cabinet so that they can't go very far, and you can pay attention to if your puppy is spinning, if they're trying to go potty, if they're smelling around, because the hardest time you're going to have potty training is if you give them too much space and you're not able to keep an eye on them. And let's be real, we don't have 24 hours a day to keep watch on them. So there are times we aren't going to be able to be watching them, but if they haven't gone potty yet, they're gonna potty in your house. And if you don't catch them in the act, you might not even know they did it until hours or days later, or not at all. So then the smell is there and then they keep doing it. So now your puppy, it should be around 7 o'clock now, let's say. So it's been an hour since your puppy has woken up and they've already pottied outside. They've already had their breakfast and their first little training session, and they've pottied for a second time. And they might not pee and poop in both of those. Mine usually do, because right when they wake up, they usually have to pee and poop. And then after they eat, literally it's like weird. 5 to 10 minutes, it's out again. But not always. So don't be too alarmed if they don't go both of them both times. Just keep an eye on them, and if you feel like they should be because you've been keeping track on your chart and you know that every morning he usually goes twice, once when he wakes up and once after he eats, that's going to be your clue that he needs to go back out again because he's not done. Now you are able to have your playtime or crate time. It says crate time because if he hasn't gone pee or poo and you think he should, he needs to go back in his crate and back outside again for 5 minutes to see if he'll go, okay? And now from 7 to 7:30-ish, you're gonna play with him. You're going to have your interactive tools. You're going to do mental stimulation. You're gonna be grooming him. All of those things is all part of mental stimulation, and it's going to tire out your puppy. It could be playing outside with him. It could be making the kids take him around the block. Whatever it is, he just needs playtime, exercise mentally and physically. And then around 7:30, if you're not outside already, then you're going to take him back out again to go potty, just to make sure. He may not have to go, but he may. And so you just want to keep that routine so that he starts to associate that, oh, out here means potty break. And then mental stimulation. It's all combined. Like basically, you need to play with them. It can't all be work, right? So some of it is just truly playtime. Some of it is just here, throw the ball and let them bring it back, or let them chew on the bone, and it's just interacting with them. And some of it is exercise and mental stimulation. So I combine them together, but there is a potty break in between. Around 9 o'clock, so they've been up for 3 hours now. They're ready for a nap. And this is super important. A lot of people don't understand, just like newborn babies, they sleep a lot and they need those naps. If they don't get those naps, then they become little boogers. That's the ones that are destructive. That's the ones that are nipping at the kids and biting your hand and teething and chewing on everything and crying because you're over there trying to work and they're over here. When they're tired, they need a nap. They should nap for 1 to 2 hours at this age. An 8 to 10 week old puppy probably naps 4 times a day, 3 to 4 times a day for an hour to 2 hours each time. If you don't get them exercise, if they don't have mental stimulation, and if they're bored out of their mind, they're not going to do well crate training and taking their nap. That's why all of this stuff is important. And then when you put them in their crate, they're going to cry for 5 minutes, but they're going to be so tired and a full belly that they're going to give up and go to sleep. So now they're sleeping until 10 or 11 and they get up, and now you start all over. It's morning time, just all over again, right? For them, it's morning time. For us, it's lunchtime. You start that whole thing over again. That is what your puppy schedule should look like at 8 to 10 weeks old. You will use basically the same exact formula for a 12 to 16 week old. So you're still gonna have your blocks. The difference is going to be, you're gonna cut back on the potties now. So now instead of 2 to 4 times, that's gonna get cut back to 2 to 3 times because they can hold their bladder longer. A puppy can usually hold their bladder 1 hour for every month old they are. So an 8-week-old puppy should be able to hold its bladder for 2 hours. But when you're doing your potty training, you want to just encourage them to go out and potty all the time because you just don't know when they have to go. So as they get older, you're going to cut back. As far as their naps go, their naps are going to get shorter and not as many. So now they might only need a 30-minute nap, and now they're winded again and ready to go. Your training and your exercise are more. So now they are able to withstand a longer amount of training. They're able to exercise for more without being so tired. And so that's going to increase and the other things are going to decrease. By the time they're 16 weeks old, you should have developed already a pretty good pattern of potty breaks, when they need to go. They should have already figured it out. They know the drill. 16 weeks, if you're consistent, you shouldn't even have any accidents anymore. They should be sleeping through the night. Even earlier than that, they can sleep through the night. You're going to know what their schedule is. You're going to know it's nap time. They're going to know it's nap time. They're not going to have potty accidents. They're going to be very well trained and leash trained, and they're going to be crate trained all by 16 weeks if you guys just stick to a schedule and slowly but surely limit the amount of potty breaks, increase the exercise and stimulation. So it's all part of the process to teach your puppy all of the good behavior.